Yeah, welcome back everybody. We're going to continue with the 2017 further math past questions. The next, okay, we stopped at number 20 and the next one is number 21. Let's go straight to it. 21. If y equals 1 plus x over 1 minus x, find dy dx. This is a piece of cake. Dy dx is going to be to differentiate a quotient of two functions. Put down the bottom, which is 1 minus x, differentiate the top. The derivative of the top is going to be 1. That's the derivative of 1 plus x, minus, put down the top, which is 1 plus x, and differentiate the bottom. The derivative of the bottom is minus 1 all over the bottom squared, and that's the square of 1 minus x. That's a simple trick for differentiating a quotient of two functions. Put down the top, the bottom, differentiate the top, minus, put down the top, differentiate the bottom, all over bottom squared. And this simply means 1 minus x times 1 is 1 minus x, and minus 1 times 1 plus x times minus 1 is going to be plus 1 plus x all over the square of 1 minus x, all over the square of 1 minus x, and that simply means minus x plus x is 0, 1 plus 1 is 2, that's 2 all over the square of minus x, and that's dy dx. Dy dx equals 2 all over the square of 1 minus x, the square of 1 minus x, and the correct option is A. So we go straight to the next, which is number 22. Evaluate the integral with limits 0 and 1 of x plus 1 times x minus 2 with respect to x. What you do here is just integrate x, the product of x plus 1 and x minus 2 with respect to x first of all, and this is the same as the integral of x squared, that's minus 2x plus x, which is minus x minus 2. If you expand this is what you're going to get. So that means x squared minus x minus 2 with respect to x, and the integral of this will become x cubed over 3 minus x squared over 2 minus 2x plus c. That simply means the integral with limits 0 minus 1. I hope I wrote the correct thing here. It's not 0 and 1, it's 0 and minus 1 actually. 0 minus 1 of x plus 1 times x minus 2 with respect to x will be equal to what we got when we integrated it, that's x cubed over 3 minus x squared over 2 minus 2x. You don't need to put the constant here, and you put the limit here, that's 0 minus 1. So that simply means 0 cubed over 3 minus 0 squared over 2 minus 2 times 0. Let me put this kind of bracket. Minus, now you substitute minus 1 into the whole of this. So that means minus 1 cubed all over 3 minus the square of minus 1 over 2 minus 2 times, let me move this back a little, minus 2 times minus 1 minus 2 times minus 1. Yeah, and that's it. What you do is put 0 in the integral and subtract what you get when you put x equals minus 1. That's going to be the result. Put x equals 0 first and subtract what you get when you put x equals minus 1 from the first result, which is what I've done here. And that simply means this will be 0, 0, and the whole of this is even 0. So that's 0 minus, the whole of this is 0. That's 0 minus, open bracket, minus 1 over 3. Minus 1 squared is 1 times minus 1, that's minus 1 over 2, and then plus 2, which is equal to minus into bracket. This is, or let me just open the brackets once and for all. That's 0 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2 minus 2. And that 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2 minus 2, that's the same as, let's go, LCM is 6. And that 2 plus 3 minus 12, which is the same as 5 minus 12, that's minus 7 over 6. 0 minus 7 over 6 is the same as minus 7 over 6. And the correct option is D. Yeah, we go straight to the next, which is number 23. Simplify the square root of 128 all over square root of 32 minus 2 root 2. That's equal to, square root of 128 is the same as the square root of 64 multiplied by the square root of 2. That the square root of 64 is 8 root 2. 2 is not a perfect square, so it still remains 8 root 2. So that means 8 root 2 over, now the square root of 32 is the same as the square root of 16 times the square root of 2. Square root of 16 is 4, and that's 4 root 2. So root 32 is the same as 4 root 2 minus 2 root 2, which simply means 8 root 2 all over 4 root 2 minus 2 root 2 is 2 root 2. And that simply means 4. The answer is 4. Yeah, 2 root 2 here 1, 2 root 2 here 4. And that's simply 4. So we go straight to the next, or you can simply say root 2 cancels root 2, 2 here 1, 2 here 4. That's simple, obviously. Now the correct option is D. We go straight to the next, which is number 24. There are 7 boys in a class of 20. Find the number of ways of selecting 3 girls and 2 boys. The number of ways of selecting 3 girls and 2 boys will be number of ways of selecting 3 girls from, there are 7 boys in a class. If there are 7 boys, certainly there will be 13 girls, since there can only be boys and girls. If there are 7 boys, there will be boys, let me just write B for boys 7, and G for girls, G will be 13. So the number of ways of selecting 3 girls and 2 boys will be the number of ways of selecting 3 girls from 13 girls, that's 13 combination 3, and the number of ways of selecting 2 boys from 7 boys, which is 7 combination 2, and that's equal to 13 combination 3. Let's check that. 13 combination 3, 286 times 7 combination 2. 7 combination 2, which is the number of ways of selecting 2 boys from 7 boys. So we are selecting 3 girls from 13 girls, 3 girls from 13 girls, and 2 boys from 5 boys. And that's 286 times 21, which is 6,006. So the number of ways of doing that is 6,006 ways, which is option C. Straight we go to the next, number 24. I hope I wrote 24 and not 23 here. Number 25 now. The third and seventh terms of a geometrical progression GP are 81 and 16 respectively. Find the fifth term. The third term of a GP is given by, okay, the third term is 81, and the formula for the third term of a GP is AR squared. That means AR squared equals 81. Now the seventh term is T7, and that's 16, and the formula for the seventh term of a GP is given by AR raised to the power 6. That means AR raised to the power 6 equals 16. Now we want to find the third term. To be able to find the third term, we want to find the fifth term. We need to know the values of A and R to be able to find the fifth term. So AR squared equals 81 and AR raised to the power 6 equals 16. Then I can divide, if I divide T5, if I divide T7 by T3, then I'm going to get, I'm just doing that to find the value of R. If you like, you can make A the subject of this equation and put it here. You also get the same answer, and they are the same. I think I should even do that. Let me call this equation 1 and this equation 2. So from equation 1, A is going to be, we can say that AR squared is equal to 81. That means A equals 81 over R squared. So I want to put that 81 in equation 2. Put A in equation 2. Equation 2 is AR raised to the power 6 equals 16. And I know that A is 81 over R squared. So that means 81 over R squared times R raised to the power 6 equals 16. Then that same thing means 81 R raised to the power 6 divided by R raised to the power 2 is R raised to the power 4. That means 81 R raised to the power 4 equals 16, which means R raised to the power 4 equals 16 over 81. And that means R is the fourth root of 16 all over 81. And I know that means the fourth root of 16, which is 2, divided by the fourth root of 81, which is 3. So R equals 2 over 3. Now, if R is 2 over 3, I already said A is equal to 81 over R squared. So that's what I'm going to use to find A. 81 divided by R squared. Divided by R squared, which means 2 over 3, which means the square of 2 over 3. And that means A equals 81 divided by, the square of 2 over 3 is 4 over 9. And 81 divided by 4 over 9 is the same as 81 times 9 over 4, which simply means 81 times 9, that's 729, which is 729 over 4. That's A. Now, therefore, the fifth term T5 of the GP, which is given by AR raised to the power 4, is going to be A, which is 729 over 4 times R, which is R is 2 over 3. 2 over 3, and that's 2 over 3 raised to the power of 4. Now, so that means 729 over 4. I hope I'm writing well. Times 2 raised to the power 4 is 16, and 3 raised to the power 4 is 81. And that simply means 4 here 1, 4 in 16 is 4, 81 here 1, 81 in 729 is 9. How about correct? Yeah, that's correct. And that simply means the fifth term is 36, and the correct option is D. I thought that was out there. The correct option is D, that's 36. Now to the next, number 26. Differentiate 5x cubed plus x squared over x, where x is not equal to 0 with respect to x. Let me just say, let me make this y. Let y be equal to 5x cubed plus x squared over x. That simply means dy dx. Dy dx is going to be, dy dx will be, okay, if y is that, I can even divide through by, I can simplify the fraction. That simply means 5x cubed over x plus x squared over x, and that's 5x squared plus x. Yeah, that's correct, 5x squared plus x. So that's y, and that simply means dy dx will be equal to 10x plus 1. This is a piece of cake. It looks like the simplest question we've seen so far. And the answer is A. The correct option is A, 10x plus 1. And that was a piece of cake. Number 27. A curve is given by y equals 5 minus x minus 2x squared. Find the equation of its line of symmetry. Okay, if the equation of a curve is 5 minus x minus 2x squared, find the equation of its line of symmetry. The equation of the line of symmetry of this curve is given by the value of x at which dy dx equals 0. So dy dx equals minus 1 minus 4x. So that means for the equation of the line of symmetry, 0 equals minus 1 minus 4x. That means 4x, I'm bringing minus 4x to the left hand side, equals minus 1. When minus 4x comes to the left hand side, it becomes plus 4x. And we divide both sides by 4 to get the value of x. That means x equals minus 1 over 4. And that's the equation of its line of symmetry, of the line of symmetry of the curve. Therefore, the correct option is B, which is x equals minus 1 over 4. We go straight to the next, which is number 28. In a class of 10 boys and 15 girls, the average score in a biology test is 90. If the average score for the girls is x, find the average score for the boys in terms of x. In a class of 10 boys and 15 girls, B for boys, 10, and G for girls, 15. The average score in a biology test is 90. Average score means score of boys plus score of girls all over total number of students, and that's 90. If the average score for the girls is x, find the average score for the boys in terms of x. Okay, let x is the average score for boys. X equals average for boys. Average, I'm just going to put in brackets B, which means average for boys. Now let me make y the average for girls. Average, and I'm putting in brackets G, which means average for girls. Now average for the class average is 90 in biology. Average for class, okay, first of all, average for boys, which is x, is the total for boys plus total for girls divided by the number of students. Yeah, let's see. In a class of 10 boys and 15 girls, the average score in biology test is 90. Average score in biology test is 90. Average is 90. So what's the total score? I know that class average, class average, that's the average in the biology test all over total number of students. No, what am I writing? Total score of all of the class. Total score in biology all over total number of students, which is 10 plus 15, and that's 25, equals average of the class, and that's 90. The total score of the class, that means the scores of all of the students, girls and boys put together, divided by the total number of students, will be the average, and that's 90. That means total score of the class in the test is going to be 25 times 90, which simply means, what's 25 times 90? 25 times 90, and that's 2,250. That means the total score of the class is 2,250. Now we want to find the average of the boys in terms of x. That means we want to find y. So I know that total score for boys plus total score for girls is already 2,250. So average for how do we go about that? That looks a bit tricky. Average for boys is this, Total score for boys is going to be, total score for boys will be number of boys, which is 10, times average for boys, which is x, plus, just as we did total score for class is average, total score for class is average for class, which is 90, multiplied by the total number of students in the class. Total score for boys will also be number of boys multiplied by average of boys, and we have said x is the average score of the boys, plus total score of the girls will be number of girls, which is 15, times average for girls, and we have taken that to be y. So that means the total score all together of the entire class will be 10x plus 15y. That simply means 10x plus 15y equals 2,250, which simply means we want to find average for girls. So it's y that we want to find. That means 15y, let me write my y well, 15y equals 2,250 minus 10x, and y will be what we get when we divide. Or maybe before I do that, let me divide through by the HCF of all of them. First of all, 5 is common to all of them, so I'm dividing through by 5. 5 is the HCF of all of the terms, so that simply means 2x plus 3y equals 5 in 22 is 4, well, 2, 5 in 25 is 5, and 5 in 0 is 0, that's 450. So that means 3y, don't forget that we're finding the average for girls, which is y. So 3y equals 450 minus 2x. And now we divide both sides by 3 to get y, which simply means y equals 450 minus 2x all over 3. I can simplify further to have y equals 450 over 3 minus 2x over 3. And that means y equals 450 divided by 3 is 150 minus 2 over 3x. Just to put it in the form in which the answers are given. It's number 29. A fair die is tossed twice. What is the sample size? That's the number of elements, the total number of outcomes that you're going to have when you toss a die twice. That's just 36. Yeah, that's 36. You can get that by saying the number of faces in a die, which is 6, raised to a power that is the number of dice that is tossed, or the number of times the single die is tossed. 6 raised to the power 2, and that's 36. So the number of sample, the sample space, the sample size is 36. That's the number of elements in the sample space, which is option C. We go straight to the next, which is number 30. Given that A equals D, and B equals minus 1, 4, evaluate 2A minus 1 over 4B. Yeah, what's this going to be? 2A minus 1 over 4B is going to be 2 into 2 times this matrix with elements 2, 3, or if this is this represents a vector, the vector B is going to be minus 1, 4, a vector written in column form, but whichever it is, this is what we're supposed to do. 4, 6 minus yes, let me leave the minus outside here and just multiply 1 over 4 by minus 1, and this will be minus 1 over 4, and 1 over 4 times 4 will be 1. So now we subtract, and that will be 4 minus 1 over 4. 4 minus 1 over 4 is the same as 17 over 4, because this is actually 4 plus 1 over 4, and that's the same as 17 over 4. That's 17 over 4. You can take your time to find the LCM, and you see that that's correct. So the first element is going to be 17 over 4. I wrote 17 over 7, that's 17 over 4. And the second element will be 6 minus 1, which is 5. So the result is going to be the matrix or column vector which has elements 17 over 4 and 5. And that's option B. That's option B. And that was number 30. I think I want to stop there, and then we take the last leg in the next video. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you in a bit. Bye bye.